Hello again, and welcome to another episode of The Really Show, where we report on the funny, weird, and interesting things we find online. I'm your host, Aaron Ross. Today's show, 5 weird things about Hitler. If you like the show, we would really appreciate it if you subscribe. Perhaps some of you are aware, and some of you are not, that Hitler displayed a natural talent at an early age as an artist. When Hitler was very young, he showed natural artistic... Oh, excuse me. He even received encouragement a little later on during his high school years from several instructors who thought that he had talent. Now, he did have a generally unsuccessful high school career due to his overall uncooperative and lazy nature at that time. But in 1907, at the age of 18, Hitler was determined to attend the very prestigious Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. And taking every bit of an inheritance, he moved to Vienna to study. He remained steadfast to this goal, even declining to return home to his ailing mother, who would soon die from breast cancer. Feeling confident, Hitler took the 2-day exam required to gain entry into the School of Painting. Positive that he was going to get in, he awaited patiently for the results. But once again, Hitler suffered a major disappointment by failing to be admitted after having his test drawings judged as being unsatisfactory. He returned to the school for an explanation, where he was told that his drawings reflected a lack of talent, not good enough for artistic painting, and specifically, very little appreciation for the human form. It is interesting to note that Hitler was able to make ends meet by painting watercolor scenes of the city. And of course, in another of history's bizarre twists, Hitler paintings are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, one of which recently sold at auction for $161,000. Second on the list, he was a vegetarian. Well, kinda. Hitler claimed to be a vegetarian, but he really wasn't. It is true, Hitler's doctors put him on a vegetarian diet to help relieve a chronic stomach disorder and reduce his flatulence. What could possibly be worse than Hitler farting all over the place? Oh. But some of his biographers have attested to his liking of ham sausages and other cured meats. His public claim of being vegetarian was more for promoting his beliefs in the benefits of a vegetarian diet for his master race. In the 1930s, a Hitler Youth manual promoted soya beans, referred to as Nazi beans. This was a reflection of Hitler's obsession with Aryan body purity. He even told Joseph Goebbels in 1942 that he intended to turn Germans into vegetarians after he won the war. Third on our list, Hitler was against smoking. Nazi officials proclaimed tobacco as enemy of the people and had an aggressive anti-smoking campaign. Hitler was always happy to point out that unlike the Allied leaders such as Stalin, Roosevelt, and Churchill, he had quit smoking in 1919, and his fellow fascists Franco and Mussolini had also quit. In true fascist fashion, Hitler made himself the center of these anti-smoking campaigns. I like that, fascist fashion. Often stating that the Fuhrer was against smoking and the Fuhrer didn't think Germans had the right to do with their bodies as they wished. For the better of Germany. Does not have the right to damage his body with drugs? Oh, hilarious. But of course, tobacco is a great source of revenue, and by 1941 was 1/12 of the German government's income, and so it was never outlawed in Nazi Germany. Fourth on the list, Hitler was a meth head. Beginning in 1942, the Nazi leader was given methamphetamine injections by his physician, Dr. Theodor Gilbert Morell. He apparently had many different ailments, ranging from tertiary syphilis up the ladder to Parkinson's disease. But it has been said that the Fuhrer's clinical signs and symptoms could have been due to his exotic drug regimen. It is also known that in Hitler's Wehrmacht, that's the German fighting force, tablets of methamphetamine known as Pervitin were distributed. They were called power drugs. Fifth on our list, and it's a good one, Hitler was a big fan of Disney. Hitler wasn't just a fan, he was a big fan, huge fan of Disney. He thought Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was a Great movie, one of the greatest movies ever made. He had a copy of it himself. He had Mickey Mouse paraphernalia. He even had Donald Duck pajamas that he wore. And yeah, they were footsies. I don't even know what to say about that. Do you think if Hitler got into art school, the whole Holocaust thing could have been avoided? If only they would have let him draw. Do you think if Hitler wasn't on drugs, he would have won the war? Please feel free to write your thoughts on these questions in the comments area. That's our show for today. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Der Führer, der Vater. Bam!